Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Kristen. I am a dating and relationship coach, and I am excited today to talk about if you are attracting this type of man that has narcissistic qualities or Peter Pan syndrome and what that looks like. So if you're new to my channel, I help women to embody their true worth so they can experience satisfying love. And today we're going to be talking about some of my favorite topics and the aspects of how we relate as women in our feminine and our masculine, and how that attracts certain types of men and what we can look at to change our experience. So as I always do when I'm coaching and teaching and leading groups, is if you are a client of mine and you notice that there is a pattern, something that you keep having happen in your dating life or in your relationship, and you're thinking there's something wrong with this guy. How can I fix this guy? How can I fix my experience or change the dating apps or, look at another pool of men? And I always invite people to think about, if you're experiencing a pattern, where is it that you're playing a role in that dynamic that makes up that dynamic? And so today we're going to look at that. So if you're attracting men that are narcissistic in some of their qualities, or if they are a Peter Pan syndrome man, which means they have not grown up, they're in their wounded masculine, they aren't able to hold responsibilities or keep accountability. I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute. We often want to look at, as women who are desiring a long-term partnership with a healthy masculine man, we want to look at what has our story been like up until now with our own masculine. Because when we're attracting the wounded masculine, it's often an indicator that there's something in us that was wounded by the masculine or is having a response of the masculine in our own life and our own self that is causing a disconnection or attraction to this wounded. The wounded is attracting the wounded. And so what happens is, a lot of times women, if we grew up in a household, if we had caregivers, our fathers, our stepfathers, maybe that they were critical of us instead of protecting us and caring for our emotions, or maybe they were supposed to show up for us, take care of us, provide for us, and they weren't there on a day-to-day basis, or they just left altogether. Maybe we grew up without a father figure. And so when we're in any of those scenarios where the masculine energy that we need as women to show up in our full expressive selves as women, in our full feminine energy that thrives in safety, when we don't experience that, we have to put on like a masculine effort of our own to try to protect ourselves, to try to keep ourselves safe. It's that form of self-protection that is on the unhealthy side, where we feel like we have to guard our hearts, or we have to, be especially distrustful until a man proves himself to us, because we have that masculine shield that's come up because of very reasonable reason. In our youth, in our childhood, we had that experience where naturally our body came in to protect us, because as a survival mechanism. And yet, as adults, it may not be serving us as women because we've gotten out of balance in our masculine and our feminine energy. So when we're operating in this masculine, most of the time, to protect ourselves, the healthy men that come into our spheres actually are going to sense, this woman already has a masculine presence in her life, and I don't want to be competing with it. He wants to show up as like your hero, the king of your life, the one that treats you well. And if he senses that you've already got that masculine shield there, he's gonna politely, decline, back away, find a woman who is in her feminine and more receptive. However, the two types of men that will want to or pursue a woman who is more in her masculine shield are the man that is the first one I'll talk about is the more narcissistic tendencies. He has tendencies that look like he's more self-centered. He's looking out for his own needs. He doesn't take responsibility for his own actions or something that he's said or done that may have been hurtful. He doesn't honor your needs. He doesn't respect like boundaries or preferences. And a lot of times they can be hot and cold. They can come on with love bombing and then just kind of pull out when it's at their own convenience to not show up for you. And so these kinds of characteristics are the wounded masculine who's not able to show up and be accountable for his actions. He doesn't know how to or have the capacity to honor and see you. And so if you have a shield up where you are not letting yourself be seen and you're not necessarily requiring that your needs get met and you're afraid to open up to healthy caretaking of you in a relationship, then this narcissist is going to sense, oh, I don't need to, she's going to put up with the kind of behaviors that I'm going to do that are unhealthy. The second type of man that I call the Peter Pan syndrome man, that's commonly known as this type of man, he hasn't grown up fully. He's still kind of living as if his mother is still around. Maybe literally she's still around. He doesn't have much purpose in life. He doesn't have a sense of drivenness towards something that would benefit his community or something beyond himself. He's not able to stay grounded and hold you when you have big emotions in a relationship. He might check out because he's not able to handle his own emotions. He doesn't take accountability for things that were his responsibility. And he's also subconsciously or consciously, overtly or subvertly, seeking a mom. He's not really looking for a mutual partner where there's polarity and sexual attraction, but he's looking for that woman who's going to take care of him. And so a lot of times this man has a wounded masculine and he's stepped into his feminine where he doesn't necessarily step up to pay for you or take care of you. He's more just trying to get nurture from you, and he's pulling away from his own masculine because he's looking for the feminine in himself to get like comfort from a way that he probably was wounded in his own life. And so if you're a woman who has not stepped into her feminine, who knows that she needs a man to step up for her to create that safety so that she can express her full self, and it's hard for you struggle to hold yourself and stand in that place of feminine, high value, connection and expressivity. But when you're in a healthy feminine, you're able to receive care and attention and be seen by men. When you're not able to stay in that place, when you're hiding under the masculine shield, one way of hiding is by caretaking, by overgiving. And this pairs really well with a man who is a Peter Pan man who has not come into his fullness of maturity or in his healthy masculine yet. So if you can relate to anything that I'm saying, please drop a comment in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your experience. So what can you do if you relate to these things? So if you're desiring a healthy masculine man, I want you to consider doing the following 3 things that can help you to position yourself so that you can shift back into that feminine position that's going to naturally draw a healthy masculine man to you. He's going to want to step up for you. He's going to be not self-centered, but he'll be others-centered, and he'll know how to honor your needs and also articulate his own needs so that there's a mutual and balanced, healthy connection in a partnership. So the first thing is you want to work to heal the wounds that led to your reaction to put up the masculine shield. And number 2 and 3 are going to help you do this. But the first thing I would suggest is, if you haven't already gone to counseling and done some trauma work, also in the coaching that I do, we explore some of these areas. Where did it happen? And how can you in the current day help yourself to heal that wound so that you could feel free to show up as the amazing woman in your feminine energy that will attract a healthy man. Second one is practice taking care of yourself and creating safety by creating healthy boundaries. So healthy boundaries are what creates healthy safety for yourself. It is that healthy masculine that we women also can have, so that we can tell ourselves, yes, we want to do this. No, that doesn't feel good. I'm not going to do this. I need to get enough sleep at night so I can show up. I'm not going to pretend like I like something when I really don't. You're going to practice creating self-trust and creating boundaries, because that creates safety for yourself, so that you're not trying to overprotect with a masculine shield. And number 3 is being open to connections where maybe in a dating situation, there isn't that like high sparks, all in kind of chemistry at the beginning, but there is an interest there with a man who engages you as a consistent, steady man who has a quiet strength, who's showing up for you and shows consistent engagement and interest with you, because those qualities are all signs that is a healthy masculine man. Sometimes we think of like masculine man as like, go get him, take on the world, command this, do that, do this. And oftentimes a healthy masculine man is not someone who's flashy or, has to show how great he is by all his toys and women in his life, but someone who's just consistent and he has a quiet strength to him. And when you sense that, we as women feel that in our bodies. We know, because there is a safety that naturally brings when there is that healthy masculine presence that is wanting your best. And he's the kind of man that takes care of the mothers in his world, his sisters in his world, the grandmothers. He just naturally has a protective, providing nature to him. And when he shows up interested in you, you'll feel that, so that you can let down some of that masculine shield. And over time, being in that kind of experience in relationship can really help to heal the wounds you have as well. All right, my friends, I hope this video has been helpful to you. If you find that you would like some support in this area to explore what is it that's causing you to put up that masculine shield, and you'd like some hand-holding as well as accountability to really move through this so that you can start experiencing greater men showing up for you, click on the link in the description below. Also, if you have been in a relationship where you find that the man is not showing up the way he did at first and you want him to, you wonder like, what in the world has happened? I have a free training for you, and you can find that as well in the description below, and get help in these 3 steps that you can take to have the man start to step up or allow you to determine if he's the right man for you or not. Okay, my friends, I can't wait to see you on the next video. Until then, so much love. Take care.